Senator Whitehouse.
Thank you, Chairman. And I may be am I the final questioner? Could be. So I may be all that stands between you and relief from these proceedings, Your Honor. I would summarize our earlier conversation as you telling us that when we ask you questions, or the department or the FBI questions, we're entitled to an answer. And if the answer is no, we can't tell you that, we're entitled to an explanation as to why you think that. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Senator.
Good. I touched on the problem of executive privilege because the Department of Justice has a role as kind of an arbiter for the whole administration of executive privilege determinations. We had documents sent in here blank that had the phrase constitutional privilege stamped on them. No articulation of what constitutional privilege it was. We have had witnesses claim to assert executive privilege, but the administration never backed them up by actually asserting the privilege, so there was never actually a test of the proposition. But our chairman wouldn't force an answer, so we were stuck. And I urge you to, maybe we should even have a hearing on it, think through what executive privilege ought to look like, what the process for declaring it ought to look like, and try to get that cleared up so that in this committee, we're no longer being treated the way we were in the last administration. You mentioned that false statements were a way that cases kind of traditionally came in, went to the U.S. attorney first, worked their way up. There's one sort of strange anomaly, which is false statements to the IRS. The administration before this one took the view that a false statement to the IRS was something that they wouldn't look at unless it had been referred by the IRS. Mm-hmm. So I get the policy of not getting into criminal investigations of tax law without the IRS saying, hey, we'd like you to prosecute this. We are the tax law experts, and we really, we have some equities here, and we either want you or don't want you to proceed criminally in this matter. I get that. When it's a plain vanilla false statement, I did that as U.S. attorney. You did those cases. Anybody who served as a U.S. attorney has done those cases. I'd urge you to reconsider a policy of deferring to the IRS before proceeding on a simple false statement case. Obviously, it'll be fact specific, but I flagged that for you. And the last point I'd like to make is that it seems to me, and I'll ask you to agree or disagree with the statement, it seems to me that failing to proceed where an investigation or a prosecution is warranted, and doing so on political grounds, is just as bad as proceeding with an investigation or prosecution on political grounds. Would you agree that that's a
Yes.
correct proposition?
Of course, absolutely.
Last of all, we all need something to believe in, I think. People who worked in the department very much believe in the Department of Justice. They believe in the merits and the norms and the values and the traditions of their service and of the department. People across this country need to believe. And there was a lot that happened in the last administration to cause doubt about whether the Department of Justice met that standard. They were worthy of the public's trust and belief. Let me ask you as your closing comments to respond to how you view the importance of the public's trust and belief in the Department of Justice and your commitment to salvaging if necessary, restoring as needed, and upholding those ideals.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree with you more. It's not just that the department has to do justice, that it has to appear to do justice, and that the people of the United States has to believe that it does justice. Otherwise, people lose their faith in the rule of law, They take the law into their own hands. They become cynical about law enforcement, about public servants. I would like, for the time that I'm in the Justice Department, to turn down the volume on the way in which people view the department, that the Justice Department not be the center of partisan disagreement, that we return to the days when the department does its law enforcement and criminal justice policy, and that this is viewed in a bipartisan way, which for a long time in the history of the department, that's the way it was. I know that these are divisive times. I'm not naive, but I would like to do everything I can to have people believe that's what we're doing. People will disagree. People on the left side, the right side, the Democratic side, the Republican side will disagree with things that I do, and that has happened as a judge. The only thing I can hope is that people will understand that I am doing what I do because I believe it's the right thing and not out of some improper motive. That's the best I can ask. And if you confirm me, and if at the end of my time people still believe that, I will consider that a singular accomplishment.
Godspeed to you, sir.